Everyone's reading the Detroit Native Sun, even our competitors. We've got the best writers, best coverage, and best ad rates to draw new clients to your business. Advertise with us for as little as $35. All ads include a free design and will be featured in both our print version newspaper and online. Call today for a free price quote and take advantage of our specials. When you purchase any full or half page for 2 months, we'll give you the third month free. That's right, you can reach another potential 50,000 to 100,000 clients for free. After all, three's the charm in advertising. Call today at 313-457-5944 or email us at DetroitNativeSunNews@gmail.com or visit our website at www.DetroitNativeSunOnline.com. We're waiting for your call. 313-457-5944.
Hello, and thank you for attending our show today. We always appreciate our viewing audience. Today, first of all, as I always start my blessings with Valerie Lockhart, producer of publisher of the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. And today, under the expose Under the Sun, which is another branch of Valerie Lockhart's beautiful work that she's doing out there in the community, we have a special guest today, and it's been brought to my attention the things that are really going on behind closed doors of the Detroit public school system. We drop our children off to school and we're thinking that they're safe. We're hoping that the staff that's there are treating our children as if they're their own. But today we have a special guest. Again, her name is Katrina Brown, who's going to be telling us a whole different story as to what's going on once you drop your children off at school. It's been published in the newspaper, radio talk shows, and we just want to bring to your attention the things that are going on, especially for our veterans out here who have their children going to school that may have a disability or what have you. I'm just strongly suggesting after we hear Katrina Brown's story that you do a little bit more investigating at your choice of school that you have your children going through, because again, these things are being swept under the rug. And it's time that we bring it to the public's attention and bring more awareness so that you could be more advocate on helping your own children and the safety that they'll be going to school with. So, first of all, like I say, thank you, Miss Katrina Brown. She's with the Detroit public school system, and she's here to tell us for these next 30 minutes, so please pay attention as to the story that she will be unveiling to let us know to be aware.
Good morning, thank you for having me on the show today, Mrs. Alexis and Mrs. Valerie Lockhart. I'm here to make the public be more aware of what's going on inside of the Detroit public schools. There's a massive cover-up of child abuse and neglect, and I would like for the listening audience to be more aware when you're dropping your kids off to school, who you are leaving your kids with, and the safety of principals, superintendents, and parapros. And so basically, we're just here to inform the public and to let mandated reporters not to be afraid to speak up. If you see something, you need to say something and you need to report that and protect our students. And most definitely, our most vulnerable students, the ones that are in the special education department, the ones that cannot speak up for themselves. And so that's what our awareness is about today.
Thank you, Ms. Katrina. So, are you presently employed with the Detroit public school system?
No, I'm not. I was terminated for being a mandated reporter for reporting child abuse of several students that were in the special education department, and the district was. I'm a mandated reporter, and so is every teacher and every staff person at any school system. And our job is to protect the students as well as educate the students. And when I saw that the students were being abused, being drugged down the hallway by their feet, their heads hitting the floor, being strapped to chairs, being left in diapers for several hours at a time without a prescription, I spoke up and I told the school superintendent, and I told the principal, I told the police, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and soon after I was being retaliated against.
See, and this is where, again, where the big problem is that when you have somebody that's witnessing this abuse firsthand, and she's done everything she needed to do to follow the chain to be able to report this, again, they're shutting their doors, they're ignoring the complaints, and yet these students are steadily being abused. And so when you first noticed the abuse, were the parents notified?
The parents were never notified. No robocalls went home. No notices went home. Eventually, the principal was removed, but that was after 8 or 9 months. But when I first noticed the abuse, as a mandated reporter, I reported to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. I let my principal know, and his name was Derek Graves at the time. Mm-hmm. He told me he did not like the writing on the paper. He wanted me to reword the writing. After I saw that he was not going to do anything, I sent a email message and a phone call to Detroit Public Schools Chief of School Staff, Mrs. Nydia Ashby. I told her that the students and the staff here at Moses Field School, there was unsafe things going on. At first, she said that she was busy. She couldn't come out. Wow. And then a few days later, she did come out, and she said that she would do something about it immediately. But however, she did nothing at all. The abuse continued. And she is the second person in charge right up under Nikolai Vitti. It's my understanding that Dr. Vitti was also aware the same day, which was in February, February the 12th, when she came out to the school around or about, and she notified Dr. Vitti and Mr. Benjamin Jackson, and nothing was done. The same peer professions and the staff continued the abuse. It could have been stopped a long time ago. However, it continued. And the students that I'm speaking of are unable to speak and talk. They can't go home and tell their parents what's going on. When they're strapped in these chairs all day, 5 and 6 hours, they don't have the brain mechanism, as I could say, to know how to unlatch themselves and to be there. They're stuck in these chairs for numerous hours, and they're sitting in soiled diapers, can't move, and they're using these Riften chairs as a discipline method for the students, and it's not supposed to be used that way. And we have staff that's sitting there laughing, watching, and they're not mandated reporting. And all of them are still working, while the ones that do speak up, you're retaliated, you're sent to the teacher retention center, and also you're terminated.
And so, again, what's really bothering me the most is that how the parents are not being notified, or is it that the parents can't even just come up to the school at random just to check on their children?
Well, currently this school year, we've just been informed that the parents are trying to go up to the school, and they're telling the parents that you can't come in the building without a meeting, you can't meet the teacher, you can't come in. And the parents are already upset because now that they have been notified because of our publicity and because of your show and because of the media, the students still can't talk. And all they want to do is maybe just peep in and make sure that their kids are fine. Exactly. But of course, the district, the principals are telling them they can't come in. And these kids can't come home and tell you what's going on. Mm-hmm. So parents need to be able to feel safe when they're dropping their students off. So we would like for the board, who we elected, to hold Dr. Nikolai Vitti accountable, you know, to hold these teachers and staff accountable. Mm-hmm. Everyone should be held accountable because we're all mandated reporters. We're all mandated reporters.
And see, and that's a lot of daycares, even small daycares now, are allowing video cameras to be in the classroom where you can just look in on your child, or they're send like hourly reports, you know, your daughter had a snack today and things of this nature. But to be in a situation like that and to make all type of attempts to bring this to some type of closure, and they still allowing this abuse to go on, it's just totally unacceptable.
It's a massive cover-up.
It's heartbreaking because, again, you have your children there that are not able to talk. They can't communicate like they should, and yet they're sitting in these chairs, like you say, for hours, and they're not getting the attention that they need, and you're dropping them off, again, hoping and praying that these students are safe when they're not. So I'm glad that you are on the show.
And we just want the parents basically to be aware of your students' behavior. If they're coming home and they have a different type of behavior, if they don't want to get in the cabs or on the yellow bus, be advocates. We need you to, start asking questions, demand to come into school, and check your kids' clothing at night if they're torn, or look up under their stomachs to see if they have red marks or any type of bruising, because things are happening and it is being covered up. We have some paraprofessionals that have been charged with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office finally for choking students, for dragging students, but it's all a cover up, and we want the parents to know what's really going on. And if you have any issues or anything, we do have Spectrum Legal Services where Attorney Michael Fortner will be able to be an advocate for you. And we're just asking the parents, if you notice things and you're going to the board and they're not giving you the results that you need, to reach out to the Spectrum Legal Services at 248-432-7436 and speak up and say something, because we will have to continue to fight for our students. We are their only voices at times like this.
And so the children that they have seen that have been abused and going through the Detroit public school system, have they set up some type of social worker for them to help them to overcome this traumatization that they've gone through?
To my knowledge, no, but we do have at these schools, you have social workers, and one of the social workers that did speak up and she said that the students were being abused and neglected. She also was fired. So she was terminated and she was fired for being a mandated reporter. However, you have other staff that set their watch, occupational therapists, speech therapists, physical therapists, principals, teachers. They watched and did nothing, but yet they're still working, and they were also even promoted. Dr. Vitti even promoted some of these people.
Okay, and so this is totally wrong. On all levels. Now, you abusing the child, you're abusing this person, and yet you're being promoted because you're not speaking up on it, and you're seeing those that have spoke up to help stop this situation have now been removed from the system.
Retaliated.
Yeah, and through retaliation. This is why they have set up in numerous organizations or whatever about the whistleblowing program. What good is the whistleblowing program if you're still being retaliated against when you're being, let's say, blackballed per se because you did speak up? But this issue we're talking about today, viewing audience, please be more aware of your kids. Sometimes we just take for granted. We pick them up from school and ask the simple questions, like when I pick up my granddaughter, how was your day in school? But not realizing her behavior may have just altered somewhat because someone is speaking harsh to her or what have you. So I can't imagine what it's like for these babies to be in school that can't speak, that can't verbally tell you what's going on. And like Katrina was saying, you have to be more advocate to paying more attention to your child, because this is a serious issue that's going on as we speak. These children are being abused, and Katrina here is just trying to bring to your attention to be more advocate and help. And what is the lawyer's name again, Katrina, that if you do have an abuse case that you like to report?
Or neglect case. Like some parents might have an IEP, and that's an individual educational plan. And then if that plan is not being met, your child is not receiving the services that they're supposed to receive, you can reach out to Attorney Michael Fortner at Spectrum Legal Services at 248-432-7436. That's Attorney Michael Fortner at Spectrum Legal Services, and he will be there to hold your hand, to guide you, to make sure that your child get those services that they deserve, and that support staff.
Exactly. And so in the meantime, Katrina, what is it that you want to do on your own personal level moving forward to help to educate the parents out there? Are you looking to do like your own show, or you
eventually we're trying to have a a current podcast, which is going to be called What's Happening in Education Now, where we can speak about all types of issues that's happening in education, not just child abuse and neglect, or we can give shout outs to teachers, to staff, because we do appreciate, we have some good teachers and good staff. A lot of them are just afraid to speak up. We need for the unions to have their backing. We need for everybody to support everybody, because we're just doing the right thing. We're just trying to look out for the kids and for their best interests. And if we don't take care of our kids, nobody else will. And that's what we need to do. We need to, support one another. And that's our biggest thing, just having support and fighting for one another and having our unions do what they say they're going to do. And don't be afraid, to speak up. If there's any teachers or staff that are being retaliated against, we're asking you to contact Attorney Michael Fortnum at Spectrum Legal Services, because that is against the law, and we will support you, and we'll do everything we can to help you.
Exactly. And so this is where, again, I'm so glad to have Miss Katrina Brown here on the show, because again, these are things that you the last thing you're thinking about again is dropping your child off, and then you've come to find out they're being abused or neglected, and it's just so far-fetched that even when I was telling some of my friends about the story, and they was like, it's unbelievable, but it's for real. It's happening as we speak, and I'm glad that you're going to be moving forward with opening up your podcast, so that again, education is key. And not only that, these children are our future generation. We don't want them to be growing up thinking that it's okay to be abused by someone, and that's just not what's going on. But when you made the point about acknowledging our wonderful teacher, yes, I am looking forward to that, because there are a lot. I mean, there's more good teachers out there than there are bad. And
a lot of them are just afraid because of the retaliation and what's going to happen, and who's not going to support them. But we do want them to know that there are people out there that care and will support you and stand behind you for doing the right thing, because we all are mandated reporters.
Yes,
we are mandated reporters, and we have to follow the law.
And that's the key thing, doing the right thing. You can't keep keeping your eyes closed for fear of losing your job or what have you. As Katrina Brown here said there, they do have a lawyer on staff that will help you. Maybe if you want to even start reporting abuse that you've witnessed anonymously, so that it will bring attention to that school or that staff who's abusing these children. Because, as we're going through mental health awareness, there are a lot of people out here that sometimes may or may not even realize that they the mental abuse level.
Because there's different forms of abuse. It's
exactly.
Not physical. It could be mentally, verbally abuse, and it's different forms. So you are correct.
Right. And so then you got some people who come to work. I don't care what field of work you're working in, but some people don't know when to leave their personal issues at the front door. Correct. And then walk through the other door to continue on with their job. And when you're dealing with children, you always got to somewhat keep your mind clear. And I just want to give a shout out to all the beautiful, beautiful teachers out there that live and breathe education, and to make sure that it's spread onto others.
Absolutely.
My mother retired as a teacher for 35 years. And I'm telling you, she loved her job tremendously. And so when you have, again, teachers out there, staff, social workers, those who work at the Detroit Public School System, who give their all in all, again, I just definitely want to thank you. Here's my salute to you as a female veteran, because
it's a hard job. It is a hard job.
Oh, exactly.
We appreciate you, but we do want you to be able to feel free if you see any type of abuse, neglect, even educational neglect, to be able to speak up without fear of retribution, because there are a lot of kids that are still being abused. There is a massive cover-up within Detroit Public Schools, and we're just asking for Dr. Vitti and the board to do the right thing. These people that are abusing, we're asking for you to get rid of them. If they're not mandated reporting, doing what the law says, they need to go. They're there to protect, serve, and educate our students. There's no place for them at DPSCD.
Amen to that one. So, again, we need everybody to come together as a community to help change this situation before someone is reported. Well, not the way you want to say it, but sometimes somebody's abuse can really get to the point where it can even bring on death, or these young babies, they're
already medically fragile kids.
Exactly. So. To the point where they even may be contemplating suicide even at a very young age, or it's just mental abuse on top of mental abuse.
Absolutely.
And
it's traumatizing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
this is lifelong abuse. It could be a lifelong thing. You don't know sometimes why your kids are acting out, what's going on, but we're just asking you, ask for a parent-teacher conference, go up to the school, monitor. You can sit there and have lunch with your kids, ask for a newsletter. We just need for you to be advocates. Whatever you're doing, just do a little bit more. Press the issue. If your child comes home and says, somebody hit me, look into it. Just don't overlook it and be like, oh, maybe it didn't happen.
Right.
Sometimes they're reaching out, trying to tell you something. And most of the kids at this school, which was Mosesville, it was a nonverbal school. So parents are supposed to be notified when the principal was removed. Derek Graves, Tiffany Cacchioli, those are people that have abused the kids, and they're still working. They are still working in the educational system. And Tiffany Cacchioli is still working for Detroit Public Schools. She was found guilty of abuse, and she's still there working currently today. I can call a long list of other ones, not mandated reporting. But the board and Dr. Vitti need to be held accountable, and it starts at the top up all the way down.
Exactly.
So it starts with Dr. Vitti. This has been going on for a while. He's been getting, bonuses. And the ESC department has been in non-compliant for over 5 years from the state of Michigan. And that's the special education department. It is not in compliance, and it needs to be in compliance. And we need to make sure that we force Dr. Vitti to do what he's being paid to do. And some of those people that are there, they need to go. You're terminating some of the wrong people, the people that are doing the right thing. You're terminating those that are standing there watching the abuse, doing nothing. You're keeping them and promoting them, making over $200,000 a year.
Okay, so $200,000, that's enough to turn around and get help for these children that has been abused.
Yes.
And yet you're steadily promoting the ones that's doing wrong. And that's just really, this is just really pulling at my heartstrings, because I know if that had been my child, I would have been, oh my God, they would.
And we're just trying to get justice in court for some of the people too. We want some of these judges to look at these cases and, hear people out, because when you go to court, that's where you want to get your justice. You want to have your day in court because you're not getting it within the school system. So we just really want the parents to be aware of what's going on inside of the Detroit Public Schools, whether it's in the special education department, the regular education department. Please be a vigilante for your child. Be an advocate. Ask questions every day. Ask the teacher. If you can, go up and have lunch, meet your teacher, and find out what's really going on inside of these schools.
Exactly. And this is where, again, we are so glad that you are on the show today, Miss Katrina Brown, for bringing this heartfelt issue to light. And like you say, there have been reports on it. And even in the Detroit Native Sun, which is the publisher, again, for this show that we're on today, Expose Under the Sun, she has written a lengthy article about school safety. And as you know, you can pick up this Detroit Native Sun at any local news stand, gas stations, what have you. But really, pick up this issue so that you can be more aware of the school's abuse that's going on and the cover-up that's going on with DPS to make sure that your child is being safe, but they're not. So again, parents, please, it really starts at home, because you're the one that's getting your child dressed and ready for school every day. You're the one that's sending that child out, hopefully hoping that they're in a safe environment. So if you're not being aware of your own child emotional needs, or if they, like she said, have any marks on their bodies, or they kicking and screaming, they don't want to go to school, again, please just start paying just a little bit more close attention, because we do have beautiful people like Katrina that's inside the system that's trying to announce this abuse, but for some reason, it's not trickling down far enough for the parents so that they can be more aware. But like
they are not being notified of what's going on, and by law they should be notified. They should be notified in different languages. There should be some type of newsletter going home, a robocall, and Detroit Public Schools have not done everything that they need to do.
And this is why, again, we need everybody to come together in this community to make sure that your children are safe and to make sure that the Detroit Public Schools is being held liable for these things that's going on. So please reach out, and like I say, she's given a number to the lawyer several times. Had you missed that number, it'll be posted on Motown Women's Veterans website so that you can go through and get the information that you need for the help for your children. And also, Katrina will also be back on the show within the next couple of weeks, maybe early this November, to do a part 2 of the Detroit Public Schools and the abuse that's going on, just to see if we have made any type of progress to rectify this problem.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're looking forward to having you, Ms. Katrina. It's been really enlightening. I've learned a lot myself, and will pass the message on to others, and I hope that you do the same thing as well. But again, when you pick your child up, before you send them to bed at night, love on your babies. These are the next generation. Find out what's going on. Ask more questions. Be more proactive.
Absolutely.
Go up to the school randomly if need, and whatever you need to do. So you just bringing your child a little snack you forget, or you just, whatever your reason is, if you just got to do that drive-by, do that drive-by just to make sure your child is safe. And we just want to thank you again for watching Expose Under the Sun. Producer and publisher Valerie Lockhart, thank you for having us, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And again, thank you so much for attending the show. Sponsored now by Motown Women Veterans Association. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeking out my sisters, one after one, finding my footing after I laid down my gun. Just wanna be valued for all that I've done. Millions of women have served their country, and I am one.
Women military veterans often find themselves undervalued compared to their male counterparts, both during their service and after their departure from the military. Support systems and services tend to prioritize the needs of male veterans over that of female veterans who look to find their footing after their military service. Resources tailored to the unique challenges faced by women veterans are scarce, leaving many without the necessary support. This lack of recognition and accommodation for female veterans not only undermines their service, but also intensifies the difficulties they face in reintegrating into society and accessing essential resources. Motown Women Veterans have made it our mission to support and uplift female veterans, whether they are transitioning from active duty or have served their nation long ago. Together, we honor their legacy and ensure they receive the care and opportunities they so richly deserve. We salute our women veterans who have fallen before they got a chance to rise with honor.